Hello, this is Carrie. Welcome once again to my vlog, and as you can see today I am not presenting in girl mode because, well, there's something that I want to talk about, and that is basically an unfortunate reality of being early in transition, and that is that essentially I'm living a dual life right now. I mean, I haven't really presented in my guy mode in my vlogs. You've only seen my girl mode, where in reality right now, that girl mode me that I'm always talking to you as is pretty much only me about maybe 5% of my life. Like, I mean, I want to get to the point where I can eventually be her full time, but right now I'm still just working to the point where I feel confident enough to even get close. So right now, every single day at work, and that is why I am dressed up in this getup here, is because this is actually my work uniform. I am a poker dealer at a local casino, and so this is exactly what I look like every single day when I go into work, which is probably the most important thing in my life. I mean, that's like how most of my people know me, and so this is me to pretty much the entire world right now. And as you can see, like, I've been on hormones for 7 months now, and as you can see, this work uniform, this is the men's work uniform, and it is just extremely blocky in shape, and the vest is really heavy, so it really hides all of the chest development that I've got. And good Lord, it just annoys the hell out of me that not a single damn person notices. It's like, I mean, it sounds easy to just say, well, I'll wait for the hormones to make me look completely female, and eventually people will notice, and eventually I'll start getting misgendered, and then by the time I go full-time, everybody will be like, oh, we knew for months, like, you were already starting to look like a girl. Well, it's not that easy. I mean, I've been crying out for some form of, like, the experience of gender dysphoria. I think Laura Jane Grace of Against Me described it very well with the lyric, you want them to see you like they see any other girl, you know. That's pretty much what it is just, I'm going to talk about a bad experience I had at work last week in a minute, and that's going to be the bulk of this video, but that is pretty much the gender dysphoria experience, is just constantly being surrounded by women and the way that other people look at them and look at their shape and perceive them. When people look at me and don't see that, and they instead see all of the things that are associated with seeing a guy, it bothers me. It feels like they're not seeing the real me. It feels like that self that they are seeing is wrong and is fake. And that's pretty much what this is you're looking at the fake me now, which unfortunately is the me that everybody sees, but also this is not what I feel like on the inside. Inside to myself, I'm a girl 24/7, so you do see the real me in my normal vlogs, but again, today I am in guy mode just to prove a point that this is what the rest of the world still sees. And God, it is really, really hard to be this self still. After 7 months on hormones, after waking up every single day, looking in the mirror and seeing all the things that have changed, and seeing the feminine features come in, and they just make me so happy to see them. It's like, I mean, oh my God, I have boobs now, and I actually have a shape, and it feels so good, and yet not a single damn other person notices. When they look at me, all they see is a normal guy. And anyway, that's pretty much the experience at this point, and good God, it sucks. And you know, it just leaves me constantly waiting and waiting for that day when people will finally be able to see the real me. And yet at the same time, I'm too nervous. But again, I'll get into that later. So in any case, so I want to talk about the night that I had at work last week. It was one of the worst nights of dysphoria of my entire life. I mean, I started the day feeling bad due to home circumstances. And, you know, unfortunately, yesterday was one of the days where I was just looking in the mirror and all I could see was a guy. I couldn't see the feminine features as much. And so when I came into work, I was already feeling bad. And then this young, like, 22-year-old woman sat down at one of my poker tables with her I don't know if it was her dad or her grandfather, and just like everybody at the table just smiled and treated her so nicely. And she was wearing one of the, those pairs of jean shorts that I was always so jealous of the girls wearing in high school, because, well, I spent middle school wearing shorter shorts, and I gave it up in high school, and that was one of the worst decisions I ever made. But in order to fit in, and every single day I'd look at the girls in their shorts and see their legs, and I would be so stinking jealous, and this just brought back all those terrible memories. And so I started feeling pretty crappy, because I want that so badly, and every single day that I'm still waiting for hormone replacement to give me that appearance, it just bothers me that I'm not there yet, because again, it feels like that is the real me. That's what I want other people to see when they look at me. And I felt that since I was like 12 years old, and yet, again, even after admitting who I am to myself and going on hormones, it's still not happening, and I'm still just waiting, and every single day I'm seeing little tiny hints of it come in, and yet it's still not there. Oh, God. Then, later at work, it was made even worse by how what happened was then I got with a couple of obnoxious guys. Like, there was this one older guy who was completely gross. He was like eating a hot dog or something at the table, and he was doing this while he was eating, and he was just this loud, forward, obnoxious personality that, like, the type that just dominates the space that you're in and makes you feel shrunk and small. And I mean, he was like insulting players and dominating the action, and I'm not a forceful person. I'm one of the people who just kind of sits back and I'm like, excuse me, if you don't mind, and so yeah, he was like, it's that type that I spent all of high school just hating being seen as a guy, because the stereotypical image that people see as a young guy is very much like what my casino friends are like. Like, after that table, I went back into the break room, and the guys were making fart jokes. They were making sounds intentionally, and then they actually started farting, and they were like, oh, dude, that stinks. And then they kept doing it, and finally I got pissed off, and I just turned around and I'm like, oh my God, guys, will you grow up? Fuck. And I slammed and then how they responded? By turning sideways and blowing a fart at me. That was it. I slammed the chair into the computer and ran downstairs, and after all of how I was feeling bad already because of how much people didn't see the femaleness in me, that just reminded me how much they do still see the maleness in me. And I ran down to the cafeteria and I was crying my eyes out, and I sat there for like 10 minutes straight, just with my head buried in my arms, crying, because again, this is the self that everybody sees. It's been 7 months on hormones and not a single damn person notices. They still treat me exactly the same as they always have, and they're still joking at me and treating me like some heteronormative guy, and thinking that I find fart jokes funny, and thinking that I find their crazy exploit stories about how they got drunk in Vegas funny, and just the whole thing is just this terrible, terrible act that they put on to look macho, and I never understood that, and it kills me that people still see me like that, because that's not who I am. I mean, the real me has a shape, and the real me looks presentable and more cute and open and happy, and yet nobody sees that, and it's because this is what I still look like, and it just kills me that I'm not there yet. And I kind of have a conundrum with this dual life, and that is whenever I am out, like, there's parts of myself that I love because of hormone replacement. Like, I love my soft hands, and I love my increasingly female shape, which does show up if I pull the vest tight. And it shows up so well in the female clothes. And I know that when I'm out and people are treating me like I want to be treated, and they're seeing those features that I like. It's like softness and smoothness is appreciated, and you know, I can do things like paint my nails just because I feel like it, and there's nothing unusual about it. And yet, again, as a guy, nobody notices. Not a single damn person notices. I want people to notice my smooth skin. I want people to notice how my face is getting softer and smoother and cuter, and yet nobody notices. And you know, pretty much with this dual life, the option is either go out as a girl and people are seeing the real me and I feel it and it feels so good and I can actually show off the features that I like about myself and be myself, or I can continue to choose the safe option, which is to go out as a guy, which, you know, it's easier socially because I'm used to it, and I know people aren't going to be staring at me because of things that because I look unusual, because I don't. But at the same time, it makes me feel dead inside because not a single person notices the feminine parts of me that I want to be able to show and express. So that's kind of the reality of this dual life at the moment. God, it sucks. I mean, and I'm such a stinking social coward because I know that going out as a girl makes me feel better, and, you know, I know that it actually lets me express the side of myself that I want to, and yet, I don't know if I have social anxiety or something, but every time I think of going out in public, I freeze. Maybe it's because I've gotten teased so much as a kid, I don't know, but nonetheless, I'm still just waiting for hormone replacement therapy to do more with me, to take away this stupid, bulky male shape of my face, and I'm waiting for my hair to grow out, and I'm just waiting to reach that point where other people will recognize the female self that I actually am, instead of seeing this fake me that, unfortunately, because I didn't transition earlier in life, I'm still stuck with. And there's going to be a lot of features that I'm afraid I'm never going to be rid of. And I really doubt that I'm going to make it. I do doubt, like, especially after last night. When I think about actually having to go in front of people and stand up for myself and say, this is me, and yet I'm not passable and I'm not fully accepted, I'm just afraid that people are laughing behind my back, and, you know, that nobody's taking me seriously, and it just hurts. I mean, that's pretty much all I can say about this latest experience with this dysphoria and this dual life, is it just sucks. And it just leaves me constantly waiting for that day where hormones will finish their work with me, and I'll actually be able to be myself, and all that people will see is a girl, instead of seeing a guy, or seeing, please God, no, a man dressed in women's clothing. No, because that's not what I am. I'm not just a cross-dresser. I am a girl, but nobody else can see it because this body still is not fully female. It's still in transition, and in the meantime, I'm just stuck being a fake self. So, really, that's all I have to say. I really don't know what the point of this vlog is, otherwise, except just to illustrate how, you know, I'm just so scared that I'm never going to pass, that I'm never going to be accepted, that I'm always going to feel this dysphoria, that I'm always going to look in the mirror and see a guy and not my true self. And I guess that's all I want to say is that, well, this period of hormone replacement sucks because it's still so early and there's still so many unknowns, and the uncertainty just kills me because I never know if I'm going to get there. And I mean, you're used to seeing me wearing this. I mean, I hate having short hair, and I'm worried about my temples not filling in. And, you know, even when I'm wearing the wig, I feel inadequate because I still feel like I don't look completely there. So, I guess that's pretty much the point of this video, is just to document this part of the HRT process, because doubts, they happen. They're common. This dual light, this between gender state, being on female hormones and feeling completely female on the inside and yet still looking like completely male on the outside. I just hope it works out. I really, really hope it works out. Until then, I guess that's all I have to say. Thanks for putting up with this depressive bout. I hope maybe it can help someone who's going through the same thing, and hopefully I'll be able to look back at this in a year and a half or so and laugh at it that I was worried about not making it. I hope. Please, God. I just want to get there. I just want this to be over with, and I'm tired of feeling so bad about myself. Anyway, bye.